What's going on, y'all? I'm Czar, and in this video I want to show you my top 10 plugins in the Waves Gold bundle. So PreSonus and Waves are teaming up for another great offer, and that's the Gold bundle free for 60 days for PreSonus users. So if you haven't tried out a lot of Waves plugins, you have the chance to get the Waves Gold bundle free for 60 days. And this is really good because the demo time for a Waves plugin is only 7 days. And to me, that's really not long enough. You know, sometimes life happens and, 7 days just isn't a lot to really get to demo something to decide if you want to purchase it or not. But 60 days is well more than enough. And then there's 44 plugins in the Gold bundle. And so really sure that you'll find some in there that you like. And, in this video, I'm going to show you my top 10 out of that bundle. So with the offer that PreSonus is giving with Waves, it expires September 5th, 2021. So you have until then to claim this and redeem it. You can check your email. If you're a PreSonus user, you should have received the email. All right, so let's get into this. My top 10 Waves plugins from the Gold bundle is the Hcomp. So the V series is in here. So we got the Hcomp, VEQ4, VEQ3. You've got the Renaissance plugins. It's Hcomp and REQ are two of my favorite from there. You also have Reverb, and you have the H series, H delay and Hcomp, and you have Vitamin, and you have Sibilance, which is my go-to de-esser, which is really great because Studio One does not have a stock de-esser, and this is my go-to de-esser for any vocal I need to handle some S's in. And all of these 10 plugins I'm using in this mix here. I've got a piano and a vocal from Coretta King. And so let's start with the piano here. I'll play just it. And this is the Hcomp and the REQ. So this is with the Hcomp and REQ. Oh, and I'm also using the Reverb for the reverb for the piano. Okay, so doing some compression with the Hcomp here. So the Hcomp is based off the Neve 2254. Great on things like piano, vocals, and also your master bus. REQ, I'll turn this on and off to show you exactly what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting some low mids, boosting a little bit of the mid range, doing a little scoop before I'm hitting a high shelf here. And with the REQ is really unique because you're able to do some pretty drastic curves on shelves here. Okay, so this is with the REQ. And let's take it out. All right, just brightening the piano up and giving it some more presence. All right, moving over to the vocal. Let's turn on that chain, and we'll go through two compressors I've got here. I've got the Hcomp and the Hcomp, but let's start with Sibilance. Let's play this vocal first with no plugins at all.
He wear no shoe shine, he got Trojan football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he said, I know you, you know me, yeah. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free.
Okay, so we got a few S's sticking out, and definitely need some compression to get it to sound more controlled. I'm gonna try to find that S that I heard here. Let's see.
Cola, he said.
Right there.
Cola, he said.
All right, so we're gonna bring in Sibilance, And if you notice, this is a de-esser, but there's no frequency. And that's because Sibilance detects the S's for you, which makes it very quick and easy to use and to dial in. A lot of times, all I have to do is grab it and lower the threshold until I get what I want. I've lowered it down to 28 dB, and go ahead and turn on the look ahead. So we'll look ahead here. And now we have this.
Gola, he said, I know you.
Let's actually play it from the top.
He wear no shoe shine. He got soldier football. He got monkey finger. He shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you.
All right, so getting much more controlled S's, and you can see by the diagram here where those S's are and how much it is lowering it. Next in the chain is the VEQ. Now this is based off the Neve EQs, and yeah, the V series is from the 1066 and 1073 EQ. Actually, the VEQ4 is the Neve 1081 EQ, and then the VEQ3 is a combination of the 1066 and 1073. So, which is, you got a 4-band with the VEQ4 and a 3-band with the 3, just to show those side by side here. VEQ4 and the VEQ3. So on the vocals, I have the VEQ4, got a little high pass filter going on here, cutting a little low mids, cutting a little bit at 1.5, and then we're boosting for a shelf at 6.8. So I'm going to start with the EQ off, and then I'll bring it in.
He wear no shoe shine. He got soldier football. He got monkey finger. He shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you. You know me. Yeah. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free.
All right, should have definitely heard a high-end boost there. What I'm doing... 3.5 dB there. Okay. Going down, let's get some compression in here now so this sounds more controlled. I'm going to start with the Hcomp. So the Hcomp is one of the first Waves plugins I ever got, and I remember, years ago mixing a whole album with just REQ and Hcomp in those Renaissance bundle plugins. A very underrated bundle, in my opinion. The Renaissance bundle and the Musicians bundle too comes with a lot of the Renaissance plugins too. But this is a very easy to use compressor. It's also a great compressor, in my opinion, to learn compression on. I've got it set up here, 3:1 ratio, 3 dB makeup gain, -10 on the threshold. You'll see your gain reduction here in just a second. Attack 10. And 368 millisecond release. These options here below, ARC, is your automatic release control. You can have it a manual or have the automatic release, which just helps the release here. Opto is going to be that slower opto compression style. Electro is going to be a faster, more like a VCA style compression. For this vocal, I like the opto. And then we have an option between warm and smooth. Okay. So this is now with some compression on it. Actually, I'll start with it off and then bring the compression in.
He wear no shoe shine. He got soldier football. He got monkey finger. He shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you. You know me. Yeah. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. He wear no shoe shine. He got soldier football. He got...
Sounding a lot more controlled. I'll just do the first phrase with and without the compression. This is with.
He wear no shoe shine. He got soldier football.
And without.
He wear no shoe shine. He got soldier football. He got...
All right, next compressor we have is the Hcomp. I love this compressor on drums and well as vocals sometimes. So on this vocal, we've got, it should be about a 10 millisecond attack, release over here, almost 465. And so the punch here is, if you're using this on drums, you can use this punch. Is going to help the transients come through. 3-to-1 ratio. This analog, so Hcomp, you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 different analog modeled. It's basically tubes, transformer style harmonics that you can add with these 3. I forget the difference between each one. I mean, I just normally flip through them and find one. Some of them are noisier than others as far as adding noise. I've got it off on this one just because this vocal was recorded with a Useful Arts Hornet, and I had the color set up high. So I already have a lot of tone and character with this vocal. I don't want to add any more harmonics really with it, so I've got this off. You've got your mix for wet and dry, and you've got a limiter that you can bring in as well. Okay. Oh, and the release you can set to the BPM of the song, which is a unique feature I haven't seen on any other compressor. Let's see. All right, so set the release back here. Let's set it to 400. Okay, so this is, we'll do that first phrase again. This is with the compressor off.
He wear no shoe shine, he got soldier football, he got monkey finger, he shoot cold.
All right, and with the Hcomp.
He wear no shoe shine, he got soldier football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you, you know me, yeah. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free.
All right, so I'm gonna switch back to the Hcomp for that. And let's move to our effects here. So we've got, on the vocal and piano verb, we're using the R-verb. This is another reverb that I really like from Waves. Easy to use once you get used to it. You've got a lot of different reverb types here, including some ones you wouldn't normally see, like gated, nonlinear, echo verb, and reso verb. I think I hit that at plate 1. Also, reverse is another interesting room type that you have here. Pre-delay, time, size, diffusion. These are all standard things that you'll see on a reverb. I love this decay linear. So let's go to the piano. Let's switch to the piano verb. So the decay linear allows you to, it adds a decay to the reverb tail. So I'm going to turn the time all the way up, and I'm going to play the piano here, and I've got the delay linear is basically off all the way in the up position. And so we're going to have a really long reverb tail here. Okay, so we've got that long reverb tail. With the decay linear, this will add a decay to that reverb tail. So let's bring this down to, let's actually go down pretty far. Let's go to 0.60. That's good. Now listen what it does to the reverb tail. You hear it cuts it off. So the lower you bring this down is going to cut off that reverb tail. This is really nice if you want to have a big reverb sound, but you don't want that reverb tail to trail off when you stop. And we also have H delay. This is one that I use probably almost, if not every mix. This is one of the first delays I reach for. So this is on the vocal, and let's see, high pass, low pass, you got your modulation. You can tap in the tempo here. You also have a lo-fi that I really like, and feedback. Pretty standard controls for a delay, but we also have those same analog 1 through 4 that we have on the Hcomp as well. So let's take a listen to the H delay here. I'm going to solo the vocal.
He wear no shoe shine, he got soldier football, he got monkey finger. finger, he shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you.
And now let's hear it with the lo-fi.
He wear no shoe shine, he got soldier football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he said, I know you.
All right, and let's move to the last one, which is Waves Vitamin. This is a multi-band harmonic distortion saturation plugin that I really like on vocals as well as drums, synths, keyboards, really anything I want to add some saturation to, but I only want to do it in a certain frequency range. So you have your range you can set here, low to low mid, and highs. I've got this across the master bus here, so we'll listen to it here. And I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to push up these five frequency ranges here, so you can hear what it's doing.
He wear no shoe shine, he got soldier football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he said, I know you, you know me, yeah. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. He wear no shoe shine, he got soldier football, he got monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola, he said, I know you know me, yeah. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free.
All right, so Vitamin, I use it a lot in mastering as well. When I'm mastering, you can solo bypass each one of these bands, and you can also, you have stereo width control for each band as well. Very nice saturation plugin and very helpful to have control over individual bands. So there's my top 10 plugins in the Waves Gold bundle. One thing I forgot to add in the offer that PreSonus has here with Waves, you get 5 additional plugins when you get this as well. So 44 plugins plus 5, 49 total plugins that you get to try free for 60 days. I don't know what their restrictions are on those extra 5 plugins. Knowing Waves, they'll give you a certain bundle that you can choose 5 from to add on to it. But still a really good deal and really good way to try out some Waves plugins. If you want to check out one of these plugins I've shown and don't want to use the offer, I'm going to have a link to each one of these plugins in the description if you want to check them out or learn more about them. If you use these plugins or if you have the gold bundle, let me know which plugins are you using the most of. If you're using any of these that I've showed here, let me know. Let me know what you think of those. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time. I want to invite you to check out my podcast, the Faders Up Podcast, where we discuss pro audio and beyond. We discuss everything from recording to gear to the music business. So if you're an audio engineer, songwriter, recording artist, music producer, this podcast is for you. We recently started season 2, and we're going to have a lot of listener questions on this season, as well as some really cool guests that's lined up and giveaways as well. So if you've already subscribed and followed the podcast, thank you. If you haven't, it's available on all platforms, and I encourage you to check it out. Also, rate it and review it and let us know what you think.